up, Cleveland. Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome to Listen Up Cleveland. I'm your host, Leah Haslage. Today in studio, I have author, musician, and rock and roll photographer Tom Weschler. Tom, welcome to Cleveland from Detroit.
Thank you for having me. I love coming to Cleveland. It's like 3 hours away, and it's big fun every time I come here. I like it here a lot. So thanks for having me on your show.
No problem. Now, tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to where you are now.
I started in high school managing bands, you know, because I couldn't really play. You said musician. The jury's still out on that.
Well,
but actually, I do
you
play.
did play.
But I took that on as a responsibility because I could play telephone better than bass. And then I started working in a music store, and I was lucky enough to be able to drive around with the truck, the store's truck. Artists Music was the name of the store, and service all the stores with different equipment. Back then, bands that toured, the Doors, Cream, Hendrix, this was in 1966 through 68. They didn't really carry all their equipment on big semis like nowadays. What they used to do is go into a market and they'd have the promoter call a store that had the right equipment and basically rent it from the store. And I was the kid who drove the stuff down there. The kid with the camera in the truck got the pictures.
And so you fell in love with rock and roll photography
I did,
right there.
right on the spot.
Now, you're also childhood best friends with Bob Seger.
Well, yeah, teenage best friends. I met him when I was 15.
Is that your first big concert tours then as far as with your photography, or were you doing?
Oh no, I was a spectator in high school. We used to go to this club called the Hideout where Bob used to play. And every time he showed up, there was tons of girls.
You eventually ended up at Cream magazine, which is huge.
I went to and started working for Cream magazine after I was working for Bob. I was his road manager, and then after I stopped doing that, I went into Cream magazine, and we had a studio right across the street from him, so they sort of had to let us work for him. It was kind of cool.
There's rumors that Almost Famous, the movie, is actually loosely based off of you and your time at Cream.
Well, some of my stories are in the movie, to be sure. We used to tell Cameron Crowe, he was a writer for Cream, and he knew Lester Bangs, who was the editor at the time, and he'd come into town once in a great while. And Charlie Oranger, who was the photo editor and art director for Cream, was also Mitch Ryder's road manager when I was Bob's road manager. So we had all these road stories, and we'd fill the kids' head with all kinds of stuff. And some of it actually showed up in the movie.
So speaking of road stories, tell us about your first time in Cleveland and about the history of rock and roll here in Cleveland from your rock and roll photography perspective.
We would play the Agora here. We came in and played there, and we did the coolest thing we did. It was in Cleveland. We recorded at Cleveland Recording for a live broadcast that was semi-live. It wasn't us going right out to the public, but they edited it and put it out as a live recording that Bob made here in Cleveland. It's still available somewhere on the internet, but we can't find the original, so somebody's got it. Yeah, and it was really cool, and we had a riot setting up, and then we got to hang out at the station later, and I mean, it was great.
What are some road stories from Cleveland that you're very fond of telling?
Well, I could go deep, but we had a lot of experience in and around Cleveland. We played a lot of gigs here. There was a place called Shaker Heights where some of the luminaries lived in Cleveland, and one of them was Mike Belkin, and he was the manager, of course, of the famous James Gang. And we did some jobs with them, and they introduced us to some of their friends, and one thing led to another. And when we'd come back to Cleveland, I had to start being sort of a diplomat between some of the guys in the band and the friends they met in Cleveland, and then the second set of friends they met. So Cleveland is, it's in our blood. Just like ask Joe Walsh about Detroit to tell you the same thing.
Right. Well, there's a lot of stories in your new book that came out, about 2 years ago it was released? Tell us about Traveling Man.
Okay. Well, I wrote this book along with Gary Graff, a friend of mine and a really good rock and roll writer. And I did it because I wanted to tell the story about Bob's rise to stardom. I wasn't with him when he was a big major star. He had a hit record called Ramblin' Gamblin' Man out in 1968. And when that started to wane, like in 69 and 70, that's when we started playing dates everywhere. We did 175 dates one year. And I mean, all over the Midwest and the South. And I took pictures all over the place. I mean, I got pictures of everything. And everything. I didn't put all of them in the book, of course, but I wanted to show a kind of a chronological thing with Seeger from the studio in 1969. That's the first picture in here, to his Hall of Fame induction in 2004. And I was the only road manager that was with him for 5 incarnations of his musical endeavor. He started off with the System, Bob Seger's System. Actually, the Last Herd, I wasn't involved with the Last Herd except for the last gig they did.
Right.
Then the System, then he went solo. Then he went with STK, 2 other guys in him. There was Dave Teagarden and Skip Van Winkle. After that, the Borneo Band. And then after that was the Silver Bullet Band. So,
which, of course, is what we all kind of really know Bob Seger
yes.
for now. When we come back to Listen Up Cleveland, we're going to have more about Bob Seger, Silver Bullet Band, more of Tom's book, and he has some pictures that are exclusive that we can see right here. So stick around right here on TV 20 for Listen Up Cleveland.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Car crashes, accidents. We're telling you why be next.
So listen to us. Don't drive and text.
Keep Cleveland safe and do not text when you drive.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome back to Listen Up Cleveland. I'm your host, Leah Haslage, and we're in studio with Tom Weschler. Tom, when we last was talking about your book, Traveling Man, there's some pictures in the book that you actually brought
yes.
exclusives of for us to check out. Let's see some of these. Now there's...
I'll tell you the story on this one. This one's in the book, but it's in black and white because the publisher decided to make it black and white. This is Alto Reed on top of one of the speaker cabinets while we were recording the Live Bullet album in Detroit at Cobo Arena in September '75. That's one. This is the official band picture from 1970, summer of 1970. I took it in a barn that we had on a farm. We rented this farm. Punch and I and another guy named Gary rented this farm. And the band liked it so much, they rented it from us for more money than we were renting it from. So we were actually landlords making money. And that was kind of a lot of fun. And this is at a kind of a historic gig for the Detroit area. This was the opening of part 2 of the Oakland Mall, at the time the largest mall in the world. And Bob was playing on a flatbed truck. Our manager did not want to do this gig because it was a freebie. He said, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I said, Punch, there's going to be 20,000 people there. He said, no, there's not. And Bob talked him into it. So when we got there, there was more than 20,000 people. So I ran to a payphone and I called the office and I said, hey, Punch, there's about 20,000 people here. And he went, oh, I'll be right over. So that worked out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people. I mean, this is like
in a parking
Woodstock
lot.
in this picture.
Yep.
So Silver Bullet Band, we have some breaking news actually. Their live album?
This is the cover of the live album. I designed the cover, and Steve Noxon
awesome.
designed the logo. It'd been the logo for a couple of years. We just got the word from Rolling Stone Monday that Bob's Live Bullet album is number 10 on the all-time list of rock and roll live albums by the Rolling Stones
cool.
Readers Poll. The people voted this. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's very cool.
And
now,
I wanted to make sure people knew that.
And the people of Cleveland, I know, love Bob for sure. He was just in town about a year ago and sells out every time. And he was inducted. You were starting to mention that earlier. He is in our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame museum. You can see his artifacts there.
Yep.
Were you were there for that, weren't you?
Yes, I was in New York. Well, it was in New York that the time he was inducted. It was at the Waldorf, and I was there taking photographs from up in the like this balcony thing they had. It was great because I could see the whole stage, and I got all the pictures I wanted from up there. And a buddy of mine, Bob Gruen, was down on the floor taking close-ups. So we combined them and made a little story for the Detroit newspaper. Worked out really well. But yeah, Bob got his induction, and he was so excited about it. He didn't really know I was there until I was standing right next to him behind the curtain when they go out to talk to the world press after the induction. They bring him out, and there's like a huge gallery of press people from all over the world. We were behind this curtain, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey, what's up, man?" And then nothing. So I went out and decided to take some pictures with the press. And he and the band came out, and he said to Chris Campbell, the bass player right next to me, he goes, "Hey, look, Weschler's here." I was like, yeah. He was so excited he even recognized me backstage.
Oh.
But when he saw me in the light, then he's like, it was cool to see him that excited. We all were really happy and proud about that.
Especially after so many years together in friendship. And there's rumor that you may be having your work featured at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, I don't know about that, but I sure hope so someday.
Well, Howard Kramer, who is in
he wrote a little.
He wrote the foreword in the book, didn't he?
Well, he wrote a passage in the front of it. You know, the actual foreword was written by John Mellencamp, but Howard gave us a real nice kudos on this, on the cover, on the back cover. So that was nice of him.
So what's coming up for you? I know you just started a new website.
I
People
did.
Can check out.
TomWeschler.com. Crass commercialism, what are you going to do? And the coolest thing, this just happened a couple weeks ago. We got approached by, I can't name him, but he's a Hollywood guy, and he wants to make a movie out of my book.
That's awesome.
He's thinking about it real strong, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be so
we
cool.
Have, what did you say? What's the name of that movie? Almost Famous?
You
and then Traveling Man, right?
Now Traveling Man.
Wouldn't that be something?
That's so amazing. And you heard it here first on TV 20.
Yes.
That this is a possibility coming soon.
I was talking to the guy on the phone on the way over here.
If you need a Band-Aid or a fan waving in the background.
Well, that'd be great. You'd be the first person I'd think of.
Oh.
Does everybody know how I met you?
I don't think everyone knows how we met, actually.
Can I tell the story?
You can tell the story.
Coolest story. I walked into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with my book just after it came out. I had it under my arm, and I was going to go give Howard a copy of it. You know, because he wrote this nice little thing on the back. And I walked in, and the greeter came right up to me and said, "Hi, can I help you?" I said, "Yes, I'd like to see Howard Kramer." And she said, "Okay, what's that under your arm?" I said, "It's a book that I wrote." And she said, "Oh my, that's my favorite rock and roll singer and songwriter." And I said, "Oh geez, that's great." She said, "After you're done with Howard, we're having coffee." It was Leah. That's how I met her. And we've been friends ever since.
To the Rock Hall. Yep. And yeah, best friends ever since. And so, yeah, everyone needs to really check out your website. Your work's amazing.
There's a lot of stuff on there that's not Bob Seger. I mean, people are going to
no.
see things like Jimi Hendrix pictures that they've never seen before, and the Doors, and it's a lot of stuff that are
a lot of Rock Hall inductees.
We have Queen, and we have Elvis Costello, and all kinds of people.
So great. Tom, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate
My
you being
pleasure.
the first
My
guest
pleasure.
ever on Listen Up Cleveland.
What a riot. and an honor.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys stick around because there's more to come. Next up, I'm going to be at Design Lab checking out two amazing Cleveland designers, Anton Zbarth and Dee Hayes. So stick around right here on Listen Up Cleveland.
Listen up, Cleveland. Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome back to Listen Up Cleveland. I'm here at Design Lab Inc. off of Clark and 33rd here in Cleveland with two amazing designers here in Cleveland, Dee Hayes and Anton Zbarth. Welcome you guys to Listen Up Cleveland, and thanks for having me here at Design Lab.
Thank you.
Tell us how you guys got started with Design Lab.
Design Lab came about after a visit to Chicago. Anton and I went there for a apparel trade show called Style Max, and while we were there, we visited one of our designer friends, and she kind of like a loft space where it was different creative people working together. There was, she's a fashion designer. There was a cartoonist. There was a guy that worked on motorcycles. There was another guy who was making films, and we were just really inspired by how all those different creative people could come together in one space. So that's kind of how Design Lab was born. Now you guys have had individual lines as well as us, correct? Now tell us about your individual lines. I know you have Slutty Couture. That's literally the name. That's not a joke.
It's now Slutty Couture to keep it more broad. Yes, I am more of, I like draping and knitwear, more, body hugging. I got into non-stretch, actually, as you can tell, leather. Donald over here got me into a leather, which is new for me, but it's all about, I think, broader demographic. I don't want to be stuck to just one particular client. I like all age groups to be able to wear my clothes. That's amazing. And for you, you've had Cloud9. Yes. Cloud9 was actually the retail store that I had prior to opening up Design Lab. My design aesthetic is a little more edgy. I'm really inspired by different movies. I'm really into sci-fi, so I like to kind of take it out there, but still not push it too far where it's just too crazy. But like my last collection, I was inspired by Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. So that was I used a lot of that for my inspiration. So I'm just, like I said, I'm more into more architectural type shapes and things like that, and just experiment with upholstery fabrics. I like to just do stuff that's different. Now, if a client wanted to come to Design Lab, what do they expect? They come to the door and walk us through how a client would go through a day here. Because some people are just used to retail shops and not used to the personal one-on-one experience. So tell us about what you do for them. First of all, it's 100% professionalism at all times. We do not play around, ever. It's different. I think some people don't expect this in Cleveland. It's a showroom where you come in and you see the workspace, and then it's all, you see the fabric bolts and then ready product, so it's definitely different. But, we want our customers to know that there's such place where you can come in, you have an idea in your head, or either that, or you saw something in a magazine and you say, I want this done, or I want this done, or maybe I want 2 pictures put together, and you're able to, in a relatively fast turnaround time, depending on the design, to get that in life, to get that in real life, and, your dream design to really be able to come to life. And you guys have some really big concepts coming up. You guys are looking to do a fashion week. Can we talk about that? Yeah, we are. We decided that we wanted to do a fashion week here in Cleveland. We really want to rejuvenate the fashion scene in Cleveland and bring together the different creative professionals that Cleveland has. The fashion week is actually called NEO Fashion Week. That's NEO, and it stands for Northeast Ohio. And it's also, it means young, fresh, and new. So that's what we want to bring here to Cleveland, just something new, something different, and just elevate fashion here in Cleveland. That's what we're about. Were you not seeing then in Cleveland that kind of urge to have fashion really showcased, or is that what? Well, I think we're very, we're more of a safe city. I think that we're afraid to really, there's a lot of people who are really out there fashion, but I think a lot of times we're more like in a box. We're afraid to really experiment with the high-end fashion. Even jacket like this that Donald made. It's very out there. Which is exquisite. Correct, which is great. And that's what we're here to really just show what high-end fashion really is, and you're not afraid to wear it out. Without people saying, oh, what are they wearing? It should be like a second hand to you. And it's a great way for you guys to get to other designers, especially fashion designers, together, just as you were saying before, with the co-ops, all these different inspirations around you. We're there. It's just, again, people don't realize that places like these or designers are in Cleveland, are available really to come to you and give you anything that you might want as far as designs. So we're definitely there. We're more hidden, and this is why we're trying to really get it out to everyone. And I mean, it's pretty much just like a one-stop shop. I mean, you can come here and get custom-made garments. There are some ready-wear items as well.
Alterations.
Alterations. We also have a modeling agency, Project Model, ran by Yassine Cuevas. That's actually a part of Design Lab Inc. We also have event planning. So this is pretty much like a one-shop. You can get everything done here. So that's what we're really just trying to promote and do something different in Cleveland.
Well, speaking of one-stop shop, when we come back from the break, we're going to show some of their designs and a little bit more of the layout here at Design Lab Inc. All right, so stay tuned right here at Listen Up Cleveland.
Listen up, Cleveland.
It's illegal to sweep yard debris into a catch basin. It causes water pollution and sewer backup. Use biodegradable bags or redistribute lawn and leaf clippings for fertilizer. If you see someone dumping waste into a catch basin, report it immediately. Remember, only rain down the storm drain.
Listen up, Cleveland.
Welcome back to Listen Up Cleveland. I'm host Leah Haslage here at Design Lab Inc., located at 33rd and Clark, right here in the heart of Cleveland. I'm here with designers Dee Hayes and Anton Zbarth. All right, guys. First off, thank you for this beautiful gown I'm wearing right now, Donald. It's gorgeous. But now we're going to show some other fashions that you guys have created that viewers at home could even purchase themselves. So tell us about our first model. I think it's your girl, right, Donald?
Yes, it is. This is Natalia from Project Model. She is wearing one of my garments. The top of the jacket is made out of a upholstery fabric. Like I said, I like experimenting with different fabrics. The bottom is a skirt. I wanted to play around with like a print that was very bold and just really vibrant and in your face. So, and I like the contrast between the two of them. There's a large bow, this is for the belt, and then on the side, there's a little detail pleating and stuff that I did as well with the skirt.
Very whimsical.
It is, yes. That's definitely what I was going for. A very whimsical feeling, very playful, flirty, very girly.
All right, well, thank you, darling. Let's see the next one, which is your girl, Anton.
Yes, this is Samantha. She is wearing, actually it's a two-piece. It's a wool corset with tulle overlay and silk dupioni. And the bottom is, it's actually a high-waisted skirt. Here, I'm gonna do a little presentation. It has a little herringbone on top, you know, just for a little color blocking, because I like to color block. And again, this is very, you know, it's like a hardcore with a soft edge.
Let's see the back side of it. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, and that's what I like to do. I like to go from knit to this, to non-knit, very dressy and casual, you know. And again, you know, it's different, and you can wear them separately together, you know.
And this, like the last piece that you did, both are great that you can go from work during the day and then take off a jacket or, you know, just change up your shoes and go to night.
Again, it's all about making it, you know, more versatile, very versatile, you know, and this way it appeals to more demographic, more people, and that's what we like to do.
Exactly. All right, let's go back to your next model, and we'll see what she's wearing.
Okay. Just give you a little background on what my model's going to be wearing. She's going to be coming out, Natalia, once again from Project Model. She's going to be wearing a jacket that I constructed, and once again, I like going a little more edgy. This is definitely a 360-degree turn away from what you just saw on the runway of my previous garment that she was wearing, but it's a red trench coat, exaggerated shoulders, long zipper in the front, just a little more futuristic, more edgy is what I was kind of going for with this coat. Very experimental. So,
but yet very cozy. It looks just like anyone can really pull this off. It's not. Some people might get afraid of like the shoulders and stuff like that, but really it's just a cozy and unique look.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's edgy, but it's not too edgy, and I think it can appeal to different age groups as well.
Let's see the back of that.
I mean, it's very, I think, you know, and that's what Donald does. He does the editorial, which turns into, you know, he can be worn every day, you know, or a photo shoot, you know. So I mean, that has that little appeal of like, you know, even a high-end photo shoot, you know, you can see that. Or, and this is again, we're trying to have a regular, if you may, to wear this to every day, and you know, and it's great. I personally like to get looks from people, so when I put something, I expect people to look. So, you know, maybe I'll wear that tomorrow to work.
Let's see that front one more time. That's beautiful.
I know, it's amazing. It's
Do you
great.
guys do a lot of coats? Is that a popular item for you to design?
I started. I've never done. I mean, last time I did a coat was in college. God knows how many years ago. We won't talk about this. But for fall, I really started to experiment. With that, and I think it's great. He's done coats before. It's new to me, but I figured for fall, you can only do Slutty Couture for so long. You need to cover them up eventually. So but I mean, it's cool. It's a nice experience to do something different outside the box.
All right, thank you so much. See our last model and what she'll be wearing.
Samantha is wearing a Slutty Couture, actually, and it's a knit dress, knit fabric with lace border, like just stitched over the top. And there's actually a funny story. The slit in the front was open, and I wasn't sure how short it was. Long story short, I had to stitch it out. But I mean, it's a perfect party dress, But again, you put jeans on, and you can even wear this to work, depending where you work. Throw a jacket on, jeans or leggings, and then again, it's very versatile. But again, it's definitely for drinks, I feel like, type dress.
Yeah, and you design a lot towards the going out, the cocktail dresses,
Correct.
the fun party.
Yes, but I try to go outside of my box, outside of my, because this is my comfort zone. Even the last look, even your romper that you wore, that was my outside of my box. I've never done a romper before. I hope you feel special.
I do feel special. I like being the first.
But I'm trying to really, every single category, trying to really touch up on that.
Okay, great. Well, let's remind people how they can find out about you guys.
You can go on Instagram, Slutty Couture, or Designing on Cloud9. You can call 216-401-1375 or 216-386-3149. I call him every day. That's how I remember. Or you can, sometimes he doesn't pick up, but you can also email at, what's the email?
The email is designlabinc@gmail.com.
You can tell who answers the email more often, who will be.
Correct.
And then location for the building?
We are located off of Clark Avenue on West 33rd Street. It's really close to Ohio City and Tremont area.
Great. Well, good luck to you guys, and I've had a ball here.
I'm sorry, one more thing. Refreshments are complimentary, so you know how that goes. We shop better when we have complimentary.
Yeah, so when you show up here, you'll check in for your appointment.
Give a glass of wine as you get through the door. You get a glass of wine, and then from there on, we just do the business. We like to have fun too. We keep it professional, yes, but we like to have fun too.
Okay, well, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys check these guys out for your next party outfit, coat, whatever you're looking for. And again, there's other things located in this very studio that you can have as well, like event planning and models. So
all in one. It's one-stop shop, like Donald said.
That's true.
For anything, and even parties. If you want to have a shopping party, we host shopping parties. You can bring your girlfriends. We'll drink together. We'll shop together. We'll sketch together. We might even sew together. You never know. Correct. So, I mean, really, it's all about having a friendly atmosphere where you can just come in, enjoy yourself, have a glass of wine, and shop.
And it's right here in Cleveland. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks to my other guest, Tom Weschler, for being in studio with me.
Thank you for having the models, too. I think they did a great job.
They did do a great job. Big thanks to the models as well. Yes. So make sure you guys tune in next time on Listen Up, Cleveland.
First time I saw you, oh Lordy, I know that goes my heart right down the road. Feels like sunshine every time I see you. Listen up, Cleveland. Listen up, Cleveland. Listen up, Cleveland.